Kirei na kimi ni korosaretai is a horror, supernatural, psychological manga series recommended by Fujimoto, the author of Chainsaw Man. I will say this series is most likely going to be my favorite horror series that I started this year. It's very, very good. And so this manga was written by Doka Koen and Yoshino Tsukasa. It was published in a new to me manga publisher called Ichijinsha in Howl Comics. As of right now, there are only 2 volumes out, and volume 2 did kind of end like, what's gonna happen? So I'm hoping volume 3 comes out soon. All right, so what happens in volume 1? Preface, I will only be showing the cover of volume 2 just because it's more friendly, I'll say, than the cover for volume 1. All right, so our protagonist is named Tomoaki, and when he was a child, he had a very strange acquaintance. They weren't by no means friends, but they were pretty acquainted. And this boy was named Hajime. And this boy was a very, very beautiful younger boy who had pretty sadistic tendencies. So he was very, very strong and very, very violent. And he used that violence on things around him. And while he was never actually violent towards Tomoaki, this boy, Hajime, was violent towards women and animals, just about everything around him. And towards Hajime, he used other things rather than physical violence. So he would kind of try and get him in trouble socially. But because Hajime has been doing this for a while, all of the adults around them kind of realized, like, okay, like if Hajime says something happened, it probably didn't actually happen. And Hajime just found this hilarious. Like he really, really enjoyed trying to cause trouble for people, and he also really enjoyed causing violence against only certain demographics for some reason. And while this is like disturbing, kind of why would you see this person more than once? Tomoaki like regularly saw Hajime to the point that even now, many years later, now that he's working in a university, he dreams of Hajime. And these dreams he's having of Hajime are dreams where he wishes that rather than taking out his violence on the women around him, he wanted to be beat up by Hajime. It's very like psychologically a lot's going on. And when he wakes up, he's like, "Oh, like why did I dream about that? Like I don't want that to happen." So it's unclear if he's actually not wanting that to happen or if he's in denial. But either way, he's dreaming about it. But he's thinking that's in the past. Like I knew him when I was young and he was even younger. I'm a working adult now. Forgot about it. Let's go to work. And he goes to work where he somehow runs into, I guess, young adult Hajime, who grew up to be even more beautiful than he was as a child. And he's well, well beloved in the school. He has so many friends. He's very, very popular. And Hajime recognizes Tomoaki the second he sees him. He's like, "Oh my god, hey, like what are you doing here? Let's hang out." Kind of not even bringing up the fact that Hajime kind of tortured Tomoaki when they were children. And Tomoaki's kind of beside himself and he explains like, "Yeah, I work as a counselor here." And yeah, "Are you a student?" And Hajime goes, "Yeah, I'm a student. I'll come find you. Don't even worry." Which is a little bit worrisome. He doesn't really want him to find him. But nevertheless, we then cut to Tomoaki at his job, and we quickly learn he sucks as a counselor. Most of his, I don't want to say clientele, but most of the people who come to see him are women who really only want to talk about boy problems. And perhaps they are actually in need of counseling, but we'll never know because he doesn't really do anything about it. He kind of just lets them talk and then sends them on their way. A lot of the times they'll bring him gifts and he'll accept them and just throw them out. So he really does suck. One patient, though, is a little bit more disturbed than the rest, and she quickly threatens to bring harm upon herself. And Tomoaki recalls when he was studying to be a counselor, his professor taught him, apparently, the quickest way to stop a woman from being self destructive is to become romantically entangled with her. And he follows that advice, and we cut to the two of them together. And she did indeed calm down for now, but their kind of inappropriate relationship only escalates her self destructive behavior. So she'll go from calm to very, very much not calm on a dime. And because he's already used the one thing he knows how to do, which is use himself, he can't really do anything else. He doesn't really know how to calm her down. And when eventually, like this goes on for a while, eventually, when she is being not just self destructive, but destructive towards everybody, when she visits him in his counseling room one day, Hajime comes, the boy from the beginning comes and plucks the weapon out of her hand and tells her, I will listen to you, tell me your woes. And we quickly learn Hajime is a million times better at counseling people than the counselor, Tomoaki. And Hajime says, you poor thing, tell me about your problems. Like, why are you being so destructive? Like, what's wrong? What's wrong in your life? And it's like a switch flipped in the woman's brain, thinking, oh my God, like finally somebody's going to listen to me. And she tells him all of her problems. And Hajime is so sympathetic, tells her, you poor thing, I believe you. Like, it's clear nobody else in your life believes you, but I believe you. And she's thinking, thank God. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. Like, why am I acting so crazy? And Hajime tells her, I will get to the truth of things, because she thinks like her neighbors are like watching her through the walls. Like, she thinks a whole bunch of things. And Hajime says, I'll get to the truth of things, but you have to sign a contract with me in blood. And she's like, oh, okay. So she signs the contract, and Hajime goes, okay, let's go to your apartment. Like, your neighbors are spying on you through the walls. Let's go. I'll confront them. And this is where things get extra crazy. So up until now, my reading, like when I was watching it, up until now, I'm thinking, okay, like he's probably gonna go to her apartment and like beat her up because that's what he liked to do as a child, and that's probably what he still likes to do now. But so extra big spoilers here. We follow Tomoaki and Hajime going to her apartment. And just as they're at the door, Hajime, the younger boy, tells Tomoaki, the counselor, I'm gonna have a meal. Do not do anything. Do not step in. I'm doing this. You can watch all you want, but do not stop me. And Tomoaki's like, huh? What? But before he can really process what he was just told, they enter the house where they're greeted with a terrifying ghostly monster. And Hajime pulls out like a crucifix, kind of like it's a whole thing, like it's a big ghost exorcism thing. It comes out of left field. You do not expect it in the slightest. And so I'm thinking it goes from a man who enjoys, like it's clearly like a criminal drama, like he's just gonna ramp up, to, oh, there's ghosts. Okay, so like maybe he's actually like a ghost hunter and those women from his childhood were possessed demons, maybe, I don't know. So it flips it. But as soon as he like defeats all the ghosts, we see him defeat a ghost that was about to attack the woman. It all cuts. And it turns out there are no ghosts. She was just hallucinating. She's crazy. She's been telling lies the whole time. No ghosts at all. So, nope. Not that supernatural. But then Hajime like picks her up and sucks her soul out of her body. So whoops, yeah, that is supernatural actually. And we learn that Hajime actually just, he's not a human. We don't know what he is. He does tell us what he is, but what he is cannot be comprehended by the human like subconscious. So even though he tells what he is, it just comes out in like gurgles. We can't really understand it. And instead of food, he eats the life force of terrible women is what he does. That's his food. So when he told Tomoaki that, like, I'm gonna have a meal, do not stop me, he knew the woman was a big liar. He knew like everything about her was just not accurate, and that she was probably really tasty. Like her soul was probably tasty because she was such a liar and was doing all these things. And so he eats her, and Hajime watches as he sucks her soul out of her body, and he's like, "Oh, like I don't know how I feel about that." And then so that's how we learn it is a supernatural series about a thing who eats women's souls, and his friend who is kind of eventually forced to go along with it. The two of them kind of make a deal that Hajime kind of forces upon I keep forgetting his name, Tomoaki, that Hajime forces upon Tomoaki, where Hajime explains that, yep, I ate the soul as a bad woman. You clearly want me to eat your soul. And so he says that to Tomoaki, and Tomoaki's kind of like, oh, kind of, but he's in denial about it. So Hajime tells Tomoaki, like, clearly your job as a counselor brings in like bad people. Like, there's good people too, but there's highly likelihood there's a lot of bad women. Like, all those women who come to him just to complain about their boy problems, probably a few of them are pretty bad people. So he tells Tomoaki, if you can bring me enough women with delicious souls, I will do you the favor of also eating your soul. And Tomoaki's kind of like, yeah, I don't really want that. But in actuality, like in his subconscious, he clearly might want that. He's still pretty in denial about everything. And that's what happens in volume 1. And it's very, very, very out there. It's very much like it is supernatural, but it's also psychological in that, like, Tomoaki really doesn't know what he wants himself. He sees Hajime. He clearly like has feelings for Hajime, but he also clearly doesn't want violence to be inflicted upon other people. So we watch him as he struggles with all of those big feelings. And it's very entertaining for me because I like horror series, and this is such a unique one in that what is Hajime? I don't know, but I'm very, very excited to learn more. Volume 2 does have more arcs than the first one. I will say Volume 1 did a very, very good job of kind of doing the setup, and then had one arc where with the woman where we see, okay, this is what Hajime does. Volume 2 just shows him getting new victims, and we follow like the Tomoaki meeting the victim, Hajime kind of forcing his way into the meeting. We learn the victim's a bad person. He eats their soul next. And it's always a little bit supernatural. Like, there are sometimes ghosts that are actually there, not just hallucinations. And it's really fun because volume 1 introduced the hallucination ghost first. Like, that was the first actual supernatural thing that we got to see. I didn't feel betrayed, but I felt like, oh, like I have no idea what's going to happen now. Like, I don't know what's real and what's not real because that wasn't real. And I'm doing a bad job of explaining it, but I was really, really surprised when it was explained to have happened, and then I was more surprised when it was explained that it was just a hallucination. So when the next ghost came up and they were actually a ghost, I was doubting it the whole time until it was actually revealed that no, that is a ghost. Like, it's the ghost of her husband who she cheated on, and it's just really, really nice. And yeah, that is Kirei na Kimi ni Korosaretai. And it's just a really fun series. And I really, really cannot wait for volume 3 to come.